Laughing Man, George Formby, saucy postcards and silly hats. Blackpool is known for its sense of humour. Now a new work of art on the seafront demonstrates the impact that comedy legends have had on the town. I spoke to Head of Arts at Blackpool Council, Carolyn Primett, about their latest installation.
The whole thought behind this was really the tower was not hidden, but the kind of frontage of it wasn't celebrated. It was an opportunity to really make the seafront attractive and up to date for the 21st century.
Enter the comedy carpet. 2,200 square metres of concrete and granite, celebrating some of the funniest quotes from the nation's best-loved comics.
3 blind mice go into a pub, but they are unaware of their surroundings, so to derive humour from it would be exploitative.
Father, bless me for I have sinned. I did an original sin. I poked a badger with a spoon. I've never heard of that one before.
Designed by Gordon Young, the creation of the carpet drew on the knowledge of local historian Barry Band.
They wanted some local knowledge, so I did them a list. And the ones I suggested, from a Blackpool performance point of view, included Tommy Cooper, Morecambe and Wise, Ken Dodd and Frankie Howard.
I bought a greyhound about a month ago. A friend of mine said, "What are you going to do with it?" I was going to race it. He said, "By the look of it, I think you beat it."
I had the privilege of going to the factory to see them do it. Gordon Young equipped a factory with these giant cutting machines. It was just like going back 200 years and watching an old-time printer making up a big poster for a theatre.
Barry was no stranger to the world of comedy. A former showbiz journalist with an international career, he told me about his very first job on the local paper back in 1959, which saw him come face to face with Morecambe and Wise.
It turned out that Eric interviewed me. I hardly got a word in. Ernie wasn't too interested, he was doing his scrapbook, and I left there having been kept laughing by Eric. I was walking back up the promenade and I stacked up in my mind, there's only about 4 or 5 paragraphs there, so I had to resort to the press cuttings, but what a character Eric was.
For the next 3.5 minutes we can do any old rubbish.
We don't do old rubbish.
Let's do some new rubbish then.
The carpet contains quotes from over 1,000 comedians, past and present, celebrating the very best of British humour.
Oh, suit you, sir, suit you, sir.
Your name will also go on the list. What is it?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Pike.
One thing's for sure, Neil. When Cliff Richard wrote Wired for Sound, no way was he sitting on a clean lavatory.
Soup, super tasty soup. Super spicy carrot and coriander. Chili chowder.
Could I have egg, bacon, spam and sausage without the spam? What do you mean? I don't like spam!
Now it seems almost a definitive guide to great gags. But what of the future of comedy? Could that too get a look in on the carpet?
We do have the option in a few years of coming back and adding to it. And by that time, of course, there will be a lot of new comics who might merit a place.
In terms of legacy, we have a schools programme, and Celine Wyatt, who's our schools cultural officer, is, as we speak, putting together a whole package of educational activities that will get children from the town onto the comedy carpet, learning how to crack a good joke, as it were, through that gaining confidence, performing in front of each other, learning about that history of their town and the comedians that used to come here. That whole thing of performance and all the kind of things that some of our young people don't always have that experience of doing, or reading the classic texts at school, or do you know what I mean? It's not a good route in for them, but whereas comedy might be.
So who knows? Perhaps the next generation of comedy greats will stem from the home of laughs in the north. This is Paul Holmes for BBC Radio Manchester.
Turned out nice again, hasn't it?